The Flash, Season 6, Episodes 16 to 19, and of course these are the final 4 episodes of Season 6. Now, I was planning, while the shows were airing and the episodes were coming out, and I was planning to watch them and cover them as many less of a time gap between airing and me covering it as it could be, but then stuff happened. Whatever reason, I just was able to complete Batwoman and Supergirl, but I was unable to complete Flash. And I knew that I was going to cover Season 7, and haven't finished the show. So I thought, okay, I'll binge watch the final 4 episodes to catch up with it. But I'll give my thoughts. I'll give my thoughts what I think of the last bunch of episodes. And what I remember with the season was I really enjoyed all the first 8 episodes. I thought, okay, the show's back on the air. The show's picking its momentum. It feels like Season 2 Flash again, and Season 1, Season 2 Flash. And then Crisis happened, which I loved. I really, really enjoyed Crisis on Infinite Earths. But then after Crisis, the show kind of felt halted in a way. The season felt very halted, to the point I felt like I was kind of losing interest with the show. I felt like the story won its course. I thought, hey, the story after Crisis, that's kind of the end of Flash. That's the end of the show. That's kind of that. And it's that whole weird aspect of things, to the point I think I just naturally just out on interest. I kind of left off, but I still had interest. You lost interest with probably the season, but not with the show itself. So I watched these final 4, and I was like, you know what? This show's kind of picking up momentum. These final 4 is picking up the steam. Now, understand me. So, these were originally the final. They weren't meant to be the final 4. There were going to be another patch of 3 episodes. 20, 21, 22, because what happened, to the point that, but they had no choice but to cut it short and make it 19. And episode 19 does feel more like, hey, we were planning to have another couple episodes, but I will not be shocked, because how they ended with the to be continued, I would not be shocked that episodes 1, 2, 3 are the 3 episodes that they were planning to make them the final 3 of this season. So if it's 13 episodes, well, they got 10 episodes all. They had to work out what's the final, the next 10 episodes, not what's going to be the next 13. And it's picking up momentum. I mean, here's the thing. There's certain things that are very CW. There's some things that are very, how to put it, very, not that well written. I mean, Mia Master, who, at the beginning, I think most of us is like, what is this? This woman got trapped in a glass, seeking revenge. What is this whole thing? And then she, how to put it, then she becomes Mia Master. She is kind of the big bad. She is the villain of this season. And I was like, when it comes to her being the villain and her becoming, I get it. They're trying to get this whole much death and trying to do with the relationship between Barry and Iris, and trying to do love Contrazole and that type of thing. But it doesn't really work, because what you have here is Mia Master is just, she's a cookie cutter villain. All her dialogue is like, I will have my revenge, or honey's home, and all that kind of stuff. You're like, oh my god, can we have a more written, remember Fawn? Remember, Reverse Flash? Remember that? That was well written. That was a really fleshed out villain for 23 episodes. So I was like, can we have that? But most of these CW villains, even, the big bads, are all, I will stop you, Flash. I will do this, and I will, and there's not really much substance there. And even with the whole trying to have this relationship between Barry and Iris, there's certain points, definitely when like Barry finds out and has 100% confirmation that Iris is trapped in the mirror, and does the whole thing, don't worry, I'll get you, and all kind of stuff. I was like, I get with the CW, and SAP is pretty much the name of biography, but there's a level of sapness to the point you're like, oh my god, this is cringeworthy. Okay, I get it, you want to do the hand touching thing and be, oh there, I love you, all kind of stuff. And I immediately, like, I don't want to link everything back to Doctor Who, but, you know, Doomsday. You know, Ten and Rose are at two different set of points, and they are touching their hair, touching the wall, and it's just a motion. There's no dialogue. Emotion can sway anything, unless the mindset of the CW could be, yeah, we know, but we don't think the audience will get it. We just get it. There's been fucking 6 seasons of them going la la at each other. It's been 6 seasons of them going la la at each other, Barry and Iris. I think people will get what they're trying to do. The whole I will get you, I will save you, I will do this. Which, of course, in a couple of episodes next season, he will be. Now, the interesting thing about this, I was always curious about, is how next season is going to handle with the whole Sawyer situation. With the Long Man, the actor who played Ralph, got fired for offensive tweets. Here's the thing. I was like, did they add a line? Did they add like a storyline here? What are we looking at? And the last thing he's in, he's this intimation dump scene, and then he's gone. So in a way, they can kind of write him off in the first episode. They can kind of write him off, or like take his scenes out and pretend like, where's Ralph? Ralph who? Like, Ralph? Yeah, Ralph Diffling. No. But Susan, I bet your money like Susan's gonna be there for next season. But you know, the West is pretty good. You know, the pickup or the pace of the episodes, the interesting dynamic between with Barry and trying to find out. Even though we are back to, I'm not fast enough, I'm losing my speed. Oh, Jesus Christ! Wasn't this like the story for the first 3 seasons? Wasn't this the story of I'm losing my speed, I can't get my speed back, but you keep using it. You know, that I thought we're meant to have, you know, with the Speed Force being, I don't know, dead. But yeah, it's just a really it's gonna be interesting how they do next season. That's what it feels like. Because these 4 episodes are kind of like not enough to be like, oh, I think this season's good. This season's not bad. I think we need to have the first 3 episodes of next season be like with brackets kind of thing. Like season 7, episode 1, actually season 6, episode 20. Like to get the idea of it. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed the final 4. And all that. Even though I'm like, it sucks that Godspeed is like always like a villain of the week, unless they're setting up for like season 7 and all that. But do we know how many episodes of season 7 is? It's like if it's 13, if it's another 20, I'm like, really? Clearly January is gonna be now when the DC show is gonna pop up. But because I know Superman is going to have 13. I know Supergirl is going to have 20. So it's going to be interesting how that's going to hold up. But yeah, I quite liked it. Quite liked the final 4 episodes.